Hey everybody, Mark from Northeast Bass Fishing. How you guys doing? Well, I'm going to start that the Topwater series. I've been kind of teasing with those shorts, and I want to start with Buzzbaits. Now, let's assume you've never thrown a buzzbait before. If you have never thrown a buzzbait before, and this is new to you, this is an excellent open water topwater option. It just does not look like anything that's alive. It's not a bait fish of any kind, imitator. It just creates racket that just really annoys fish, and the strikes you get on a buzzbait, no matter what kind of buzzbait you throw, are just hellacious hits, and they're so much fun. And I've got a few different kinds here. Some I don't remember what the brands are. Some I do. I will talk about the ones that I like to throw and just how I set them up. My setup that I have here. But really, you're gonna find, if you're new to buzzbait fishing, you're gonna find pretty much like your single type buzzer. And this is it's like a spinnerbait body, except instead of having like blades here, you've got these buzzer blades here, and these make a really tempting gurgling sound for the bass. And you could throw a smaller version like this. I have some of these more finessey ones in some different colors. The pink one is pretty cool to throw. Got real dirty water, but it just creates a lot of sound. And here's just a simple single blade buzzbait with a skirt. So you've got your jig head body and the arm that goes up to the buzzer, the blade. I always put a trailer hook on them, but that's pretty much the simple one. So I'll go through those ones quick, kind of move them out of the way. But any different, whites, blacks, sometimes these cool colors work, but like a white spinnerbait, a black spinnerbait, a chartreuse skirt, you don't have to really go crazy. This is all one brand here that I got online. I'm not gonna remember where I got all these, but everybody has their favorites. But that's just your typical single blade buzzbait. Here's one that has a clacker. So if you have, that buzzbait blade, and then you have this clacker here that comes with it, that will smack that hits that as it goes along and just makes some more noise. So if you like the clacker type, I have a few of those here. Some of them have bigger blades, like this one's got four on it. These ones have 2. That's just a regular single blade one with no clacker on it. Here's another one with the black one with the clacker. That's the same as that other one. Let's try and see how many different clacker ones there. This one is kind of like got a double blade on it. It's got those 2 different blades. And like I said, I don't remember the names of all these kind. There's so many choices out there. This is like those other ones. This is a part of that group of ones, and just the plain black. And that's a good way to start, just with a simple single blade buzzer, and just try it and get the hang of it. Then you can move on to these, more different style ones that are got a little more to them. I'll save that one for last. These guys for last here. Here's another single blade one in the white. It's got the clacker on it. If you guys like the clacker style, that's cool. Here's another. This is an old one I found. This is a small one with the clacker, and it's got that's an old rubber skirt on here. That's an old buzzbait right there. Sometimes those little smaller ones actually really work well. Let's see what else we got here. This is a buzzbait that I got years ago. I don't know if River to Sea still makes these, because I never really got into them that much. They're kind of cool, but I wish they were a little heavier, if that makes any sense. This is that double plopper from River to Sea. You guys have ever seen these? They're really cool looking. And it's kind of, the Whopper plopper was so huge, so they decided to come out with a buzzbait that's kind of got that Whopper plopper idea to it, as you'll see here in a sec. But I threw them a few times, and I never fell in love with them, because to me they're just too light. I wish they were a little heavier. But They certainly look cool. They have a kind of a, you know, they make a, it's more of a, more of a more subtle action. But it's got like, it's got like two little Whopper plopper as the blades. An interesting idea, I guess, to give it a try. They're kind of cool looking. I think they're better cool looking than as far as fish catchers. I'd definitely rather use one of those other buzz baits. But if it's something you guys have and have tried and have done well with, let me know. Maybe I need to revisit them. But that's the double plopper from and I don't, like I said, I don't know if they still make them. I'll put links to Buzzbaits in the description that you guys can check out. I'm not sure if they still make them. I have a couple colors here. This one, I believe, was the baby. It was a perch. Okay, so that's the perch one. This one is a monkey butt color, which when we get to talking about Whopper ploppers is my favorite Whopper plopper color. It's really the only one you need as far as I'm concerned. This one's called powder. And if you guys really like these and want me to do a deep dive into them, let me know. I have no problem doing it. You know, or I know it. That's another. That's the other color. So I got 4 of those. I did not fall in love with that bait. Some of you guys may love it. Maybe like I said, maybe I need to give it more of a try. But when it comes to throwing a buzz bait, the one I have on most of the time is a double buzzer. And these are just Strike King double buzzers. These are ones in black, and these are the ones that were kind of like in a box. I've definitely got to clean the hooks up. There's a little rust on the hooks on these ones. Like that needs some serious TLC. So a couple black ones. This one is not. It's a double buzzer, but it's not a Strike King. I'll show you that one in a sec because I've got another one that's in black. These ones here are all that Strike King double buzzer. I caught so many fish over the years on these Strike King double buzzers. And here they are in the pack. I took a couple of packs out. It's their double take, ½ ounce. I like it because it's a ½ ounce. You know, a buzz bait's a tough thing to throw just because the blades, you know, they catch a lot of air. So, you know, it's hard to throw them far. So I really, you know, you really got to get your, you know, your casting reel set up perfectly so you can get the best cast on. But that's just the white one, ½ ounce. You saw some of the black ones there. There's the white and chartreuse. It's the one I've been throwing this spring, doing very well with. And that's actually the one I have on right here. So here is my buzz bait setup. This is just a, oh, excuse me. I believe this rod is 7.3. I can't see it because the buzz bait's in the way. Yeah, 7.3 medium heavy, I believe. Yeah. This is just a 7.3 medium heavy. It's an Abu Garcia rod. If I can get this off, I'll show it to you. Everything is wrapped around there so tight. There we go. Oh, I don't want to spill my water here, so I'm going to move that over there before I spill it and make a mess. But I have this on 20-pound mono. I don't use mono that much anymore, but for this I do. You can use mono. I've used braid. I just prefer the mono. That's a Revo X reel. 7.3 medium heavy Abu Garcia Veracity rod. I think they still make the Veracity, not sure, but you know, I would go at least a 7-foot rod. I like a little longer, so I went 7.3, but at least 7. I know some guys like shorter rods. Maybe it helps them make more accurate casts. For me, I'm throwing this. There's a lot of topwater baits we'll talk about that are great for, you know, weeds and cover. This is not that kind of a bait. When you want to, if you have, you know, an area to fish that you have a lot of open water and not a lot of stringy grass, like this has got, you can see there's some stringy grass, but you can't see it, but there's definitely some stringy grass on this blade. So these blades, and I can just pick it off here some, but you guys get a good look. Let me get this a little closer for you. Get a good look at those blades. These are the areas here where if you get weeds in there, it just messes up the action of the bait. So I'm not throwing this in, like, you know, if you got that floating weed and cheese on top. This is not for that. We'll talk about baits that are good for that. This is, to me, is for open water. I like, you know, if I've got, you know, shorelines that might have submergent grass on it, perfect. If you've got, you know, grass that's still got, you know, a few inches or more on top of it of depth, this is the perfect bait for it. When those fish are down in that grass and this thing comes gurgling over top, they just come out and absolutely hammer it. They absolutely hammer it. And it's such a fun bite. I can't recommend it enough if you haven't tried it. But that's the kind of cover or, you know, situation you want to throw this, when you've got open water, not a lot of grass on top, because once, you know, it is going to get, you know, the weeds will mess up the action of these. You'll be picking it off. And even in places where I have like some scattered grass and it gets in there, I don't mind. I'll throw it through, and eventually you'll be, God, there's some grass on there, and you just kind of pick it off. And you can see there's still some on there. I forget how well you can see that, but you get the idea. And I just use a trailer hook. There's ones you can buy now that don't have a skirt. They put, like, you know, soft plastic frogs on there. I've always liked, you know, I guess I'm old school. I like it with just a skirt and a trailer hook. So if they short strike it, I'm going to get them with that trailer hook. And the double take from Strike King comes with that trailer hook on there, so I don't really have to do anything. Take it out of the package and tie it on and throw it. It's a great buzz bait. If you guys have never tried the double buzzer, give it a shot. It's awesome. I prefer the double buzzer to the single buzzer, even though there are times when they do like the single buzzer. They might like it a little more, you know, little subtle action. They want just maybe not so much noise. But I always prefer to throw the double buzzer. And 20-pound mono, you can use braid if you like. I prefer mono. One of the few things I still use mono for. 7.5 or 7.3, at least a 7-foot rod, medium heavy action. Long casts, get it out there and just watch these blades go and just make a bunch of commotion on top, and when the fish come up and hammer it, it's great. But that's it. That's the Strike King double buzzer. What's the white and chartreuse? That's the same one that's in this pack right here, that double take. If you haven't tried a double buzzer, I recommend trying that one. I also have these, I believe these are Picasso, yes. I don't know if Picasso still makes this one. This is the 1/2 ounce Picasso buzzsaw. That's a really old pack. That's the 1/2 ounce Picasso buzzsaw in the black. Here it is in the white. I got these because they were double buzzers. I don't like them as much as the Strike King ones, but they're not bad. It's not a bad option if you like the double buzzer. There are probably other double buzzers out there I don't even know of, just because I haven't, you know, I'm pretty well stocked up with buzz baits. And the buzz bait for me is not a bait that I tend to lose. I mean, if anything, they just get destroyed, and, like, you know, these arms might break off or something just because you catch so many fish. I haven't really lost a lot of them. You know, even when pike get them, they just get the hook usually. I guess you know, I have 20-pound line that hasn't broke on me. I mean, I have, you know, sailed some up into trees and I've lost them that way. But, you know, it's a pretty safe way to fish as far as losing stuff. And you know, there's a lot to different try ones. Oh, here's another one here. I don't know if they make this one. This is the Jackal 1/2 ounce firecracker. I didn't even take it out of the pack. I don't remember where I got that one. That's just one I have. And I do have these ones. This is the newest buzzbait I have. And I threw them a little bit last season. I haven't thrown them this season yet. But I will when I'm up in Champlain the next couple weeks. This is the Defiant buzzbait that I got from Oliver and Riley a couple years ago. And they're really nice. What I like about this one, and I must have taken a trailer hook off because I was throwing this one last time. You can see the skirt's all beat up there. What I like about this one is it's 3/4 ounce. So I can really chuck it, so I can get good distance away from the boat. And it's got this little blade on there. It gives it a little flash, so it's a little different than your typical buzzbait, and it's got this mean-ass hook on it. So this is a nice option. This is kind of one I'm just, you know, getting more confidence in as time goes of having it. But I just throw a trailer hook on there. It's got you don't need any kind of a trailer of any kind because the skirt is set up so it gives you that, you know, that action from that elongated skirt in the middle. But this is a cool buzzbait, the Defiant version, and I just got it in white and chartreuse. So I will definitely have these tied on up on Champlain the next 2 weeks. So you will definitely see some fish catches of these. This is one I just have to throw more, only because it's new and I'm kind of used to throwing that double buzzer. But believe me, this will get thrown too, and this will really be a good option when it's a little more wind, because the double buzzer is kind of hard to throw in that when it's a windier day. But that's another cool option too, that Defiant. That's the newest buzzbait I have. I haven't bought new buzzbaits in a few years. But that's really the different ones I have. I don't see any other ones here. I think there was one. I showed you those already. I did have this. This is one of the ones I kind of showed yesterday, or when I did the short. This is one of those ones you buy that doesn't have a skirt, and that's just with the horny toad on there. which I do sometimes. I don't, I know there's some guys who really like throwing it that way. I'm kind of old school. I prefer the, let me get that. That frog was a little crooked on there. That's better. That's a little straighter. Well, actually, it's not that much straighter. Get a little kinked. You always want to make sure you rig it on there straight, so that was a little to the one side. I like to be a little straighter. It's a little better. But, without the blade on there, and you just have that kicking action to go along with the buzzbait action. It's cool. I know some people like it. I'm kind of old school. I prefer the, the skirt and the trailer hook and all that. But there's nothing wrong with doing that. Nothing wrong with doing that. So if you're new to buzzbait fishing, you could definitely start with the double buzzer. It's really an easy technique to you're just casting and reeling, but just make sure you have the right water conditions. You don't have real heavy grass that's matted out on top. You'll think the buzzbait's the worst bait in the world, because it's not going to work. It's going to get clogged up with weeds. You're just going to be reeling weeds in and going, this thing stinks. I can't catch fish with this. No, you need open water, submergent vegetation that you can throw over top of. If you have just like scattered lily pads, that's kind of cool. Throwing it around the lilies where the openings are goes through that pretty well. And, if you get some weeds on the top there, they clog up your, just work it, pop it off, pull it off, and then get back to fishing. But open water, top water, this is a really great option, especially if you got rock. It's a good way to, parallel banks and just chuck it down the bank and just reel it back to the boat. Just covering like that. If you got like riprap and it's coming down to like, let's say 5 to 10 feet, and you're just coming right along there, great way to get bites. And you'll catch a largemouth and smallmouth on these. And like I said, the hits sometimes are just hellacious. It's so much fun, so much fun. But that's it, guys. Those are some of the buzz baits I like to throw. 9 times out of 10 when I go out, I have that double buzzer on. I have incorporated the Defiant one because it's new to me more the last couple of years. Sometimes I'll even go for these, if I go to a place and the water's like chocolate milk, then I'll pull out something like this pink one. You'll say, that's ridiculous. What is that gonna, you'd be surprised how good a bait this color works on bass, especially when the water is real dirty. I don't know what it is, especially with smallmouth, but they just hate baits that are pink. And for me, a buzzbait, it's not that this going across the top and they're gonna, a fish is going, oh, that's a frog. Well, that can't be a frog. It's pink. No, they're just hearing that gurgling going across, and they're reacting to that sound, and it's something alive that's maybe dying, and they just want to go up and absolutely kill it. So they're just going to come flying up and just smack it. So these small ones are fine. You could even throw you could even get away with throwing these smaller buzzbaits on spinning if you don't have any casting equipment. You've got a spinning rod. A medium, I wouldn't go medium for top water fishing, but if you got a medium heavy 7-foot spinning rod, throw some 12 to 15 pound mono on there or braid, and chuck a small buzzbait like this around. You can do it and catch fish very, very well. Try these smaller ones. If I can remember where I got these from, I'll put them on the description part. I don't really remember, but there's a lot out there. There's a ton of other buzzbaits out there that I don't even have here. I tend to stick to that double buzzer most of the time anyway. But that's it, guys. So I'll put descriptions to all these, in the description. I'll put links to all these on there that are still around. And if there's a buzzbait you guys really like, if there's another double buzzer out there I don't know about, let me know, and I'll give it a try, because I love throwing a double buzzer. And I'm always looking for one, see if the sound's a little different. See if it's got a little more chop in the water. But most of the time I got this guy on right here, either white and chartreuse, black, depending. And really colors, you can mess around with the colors. You want light colors, you want more natural colors, you want just plain black. You're fishing in the day, you're fishing in the night, low light conditions. You just mess around with different colors, see how the fish react. But it's such a fun way to fish, such a fun way to fish. So that's it. So put links to all these in the description. Any other questions, you guys, please let me know. If you saw one particular brand here you want me to do a deep dive into, please let me know. And that's it. So thanks for watching. So I'll see you guys soon on YouTube. Mark out.